You throw the red ball. It lands on the green lawn, maybe 10 feet away, sitting there in plain sight, and your dog, who just watched you throw it, sprints out, overshoots, and stops. Nose down, zigzagging, circling a toy that's right in front of him. You've probably laughed about this. Maybe you've called him a goofball. Maybe, on a bad day, you wondered if something was wrong with him. Nothing is wrong with him. That red ball, on that green grass, is very close to invisible to your dog. Not blurry, not hard to see. Gone folded into the lawn like it was never there. For almost 100 years, we told ourselves a simple story about why. Dogs see the world in black and white. And it turns out that story is wrong in a way that's stranger and honestly more beautiful than the myth ever was. It starts with a man who made a guess in 1937. By the time we get to number 4, you're going to look at your dog's toy basket a little differently. And number 5, the one almost everyone gets backwards, is the reason that red ball disappeared. 5 things about the way your dog sees color. Let's start with where the whole myth came from. Number 1, the black and white story was never a discovery. It was a guess. In 1937, a man named Will Judy, the founder of National Dog Week, the publisher of Dog World magazine, wrote a training manual. And in it, he wrote this: "It's likely that all the external world appears to them as varying highlights of black and gray." That's it. It's likely. No experiment, no retina, no measurement. One confident sentence from a dog expert who genuinely didn't know because in 1937, nobody did. And here's the thing about a good, clean sentence. It travels. That line got repeated in training books, in vet pamphlets, in classrooms, for the next 50 years. By the 1960s, scientists more or less assumed the only mammals that saw real color were primates, like us. Dogs got filed under gray. So before we go any further, do something for me. Look at your dog's toys right now. The pile by the door, the basket in the corner. Count how many of them are red or orange. Hold that number, because we're about to find out what your dog actually sees when he looks at that pile. And it is not gray. Number 2, your dog is not colorblind. He's dichromatic. And those are very different things. In 1989, 3 vision scientists, Neitz, Geist, and Jacobs, did the experiment Will Judy never could. They published it in a journal called Visual Neuroscience, and instead of guessing, they measured. They looked directly at the light-catching cells in a dog's retina, the cones, the cells that do color. You have 3 kinds of cones: red, green, blue. That's what lets you tell a stop sign from a lime. Your dog has 2, and the 2 he has peak at very specific places. One around 429 nanometers, which reads as blue, and one around 555 nanometers, which reads as yellow. Sit with that for a second. 2 cones, not 0. The black and white story wasn't just a little off, it deleted an entire world of color your dog actually has. Here's the honest version, the one Judy couldn't give you. Not black and white, blue and yellow. Your dog sees a sky that's blue, a yellow tennis ball that glows. Blue and yellow, and every blend in between, that's his palette. It's smaller than yours, but it is absolutely, measurably there. And there's a reason he only got 2. Your dog's retina made a trade. Where your eyes are packed with cones for daylight color, his are dominated by the other kind of cell rods. Rods don't do color. They do dim light, and they do movement. Back in 1995, 2 vets named Miller and Murphy laid this out in a paper simply titled Vision in Dogs. Behind your dog's retina, there's even a mirror, the tapetum, the thing that makes his eyes glow in a photo bouncing light back through for a second pass. So your dog traded away some of your color to see in near darkness and catch the faintest flicker of motion across a field. He gave up some daytime sharpness too. What you can read clearly at 75 feet, he'd need to close to about 20 to see as crisply. But that's a trade, not a defect. It's a different instrument entirely, tuned for dawn and dusk and the twitch of something moving in the grass. So if it's not gray in there, why did that red ball vanish? That's number 3. And this is where it gets specific. Number 3, the colors your dog is missing are red and green, and they don't just look dull to him, they collapse into each other. For a long time, this was inferred from the biology. The cones say red-green should be a problem. But in 2017, a team led by Marcello Siniscalchi decided to actually ask the dogs. They published it under a title I love, because it's just the question, straight: are dogs red-green colorblind? They took 16 dogs and built them a version of the Ishihara test. You've taken that one yourself. The circle of colored dots with a number hidden inside that you can only find if your color vision is intact. They made a dog version. And the dogs responded almost exactly the way a red-green colorblind person does. Red and green reach your dog as a single muddy channel, rather than 2 separate colors. Now here's the part I want to be honest with you about, because the science is honest about it. It's not that your dog sees 0 red. Siniscalchi's dogs could spot a bright, high-contrast red shape just fine. What broke them was red against green, a muted red toy sitting on grass. That's the exact combination that erases it. Bright red on a plain floor? Findable. Red ball on a green lawn? Gone. And red-green isn't the only gap. Those same 1,989 measurements turned up something even stranger. There's one exact stripe of the spectrum, a blue-green, right around 480 nanometers. The color we'd call teal, or aqua, that your dog can't register as a color at all. To him, it isn't dim, and it isn't muddy. It's just gray. Scientists call it his neutral point, and it sits right in the middle of the range you'd assume he sees best. So it isn't only the red toy on grass that disappears on him, that trendy teal harness, that aqua water bowl, colors you picked because they popped for you can read, to your dog, as nothing more than another patch of gray. So on your next walk, watch this happen in real time. Throw into grass and watch your dog's head drop. He stops using his eyes and switches to his nose because for that toy, on that background, his eyes just went dark. He's not being lazy, he's rerouting. Number 4, and this is the one that flips the whole story. If you've been feeling a little sorry for your dog this whole time, smaller palette, missing colors, chasing balls he can't see, number 4 is where you can stop. Because it turns out color isn't some weak backup sense your dog barely uses. It might be one he trusts more than we ever gave him credit for. In 2013, researchers named Kasperson, Badrides, and Maximov ran a beautifully simple experiment, published in the Proceedings of the Royal Society. They set up a choice for 8 dogs. One cue was color. The other was brightness, how light or dark something was. And they rigged it so the 2 cues disagreed, so each dog had to pick which one to believe. For years, the assumption was that dogs mostly navigate by brightness, light and dark, contrast, movement, and treat color as an afterthought. These dogs did the opposite. Given the choice, they went with color, almost every time. Let that land, because it's the reframe. The 2 colors your dog has, he leans on harder than we assumed. Blue and yellow aren't decoration to him. They're information. When it counts, he'd rather trust a color than a shade of gray. You can watch a small version of this yourself. Next time you've got 2 toys the same size and shape, one blue, one a dull red. Notice which one he tracks in the air and which one he tends to lose. For a lot of dogs, the blue one stays locked in the whole flight, and the red one just drops out of the world the second it stops moving. Which means every toy, every mat, every marker you've ever bought and read from your dog's point of view, you were writing in a color he can barely read, and skipping the 2 he reads fluently. Number 5, the one people get backwards. The fix has nothing to do with feeling sorry for him. It's about starting to speak his palate. So here's what to actually do. 3 things tonight. 1, when you buy toys, buy blue or yellow, not red, not orange. That bright orange, high visibility bumper at the pet store? High visibility to you, to your dog, on grass. It's camouflage. A blue or yellow toy lights up in the exact 2 channels his eyes are built for. 2, on walks. If you're throwing into grass or brush, use a blue or yellow toy. And if your dog loses a red one and drops his nose to search, don't correct him. He's not blowing you off. He's compensating for a color you picked. 3, if you're doing any training, a target, an agility jump, a mat to send him to make it blue or yellow. You'll watch him lock onto it faster, because you finally put it in a color he can find across a room. None of this is babying him. It's the opposite. It's meeting him in the 2 colors he actually lives in. So let's go back to that red ball on the green lawn. Your dog didn't fail that. He never had a chance at it. You threw him a color that, to his eyes, was painted the same shade as the grass it landed on. He wasn't being dumb. He was being asked to find something that, for him, wasn't there. And here's what gets me about all of this. For nearly a century, we said dogs saw less a gray, dimmed-down copy of our world. But he was never seeing a worse version of your world. He was seeing a different one. Narrower, yes, but sharper in its own way, and trusted harder. He leans on his 2 colors more than you lean on your 3. So tonight, try it. Swap the red ball for a blue one. Walk out into the yard and throw it into the grass. And watch him. Watch him lock on from across the lawn. No zigzag, no frantic nose. Just a straight line to a color he can finally see. That's not you fixing something broken in your dog. That's you, for the first time, looking at the world through his eyes. So I have to ask, go check right now. What color is your dog's favorite toy? Look at the pile by the door and tell me in the comments how many of you have been buying red this whole time. I have a feeling it's most of us. If pulling one real paper apart like this one paper, one day is your kind of thing, that's exactly what we do here at PetMindLabs, so stick around. Next time, we're going somewhere stranger, your dog's memory. Why he doesn't replay the past the way you do, and what he's actually doing instead in the moments he seems to remember. Until then, swap the red for blue, and watch what happens. This has been PetMindLabs. One paper, one day.